What's going on, Bulls fans? Let's go, man. Come on, y'all already know we're here. This is Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for all Chicago Bulls news and content. And today, DeMar DeRozan sent us into the new year with probably the best present we've had as a franchise in the new year in so long with that win over the Pacers and that shot. We'll be breaking down and talking about that game, Chris Flemming's performance so far as the head coach while Billy Donovan's been out. We also be going into the mailbag. We have a few voicemails to get into, and we'll be doing a preview of the Wizards game. We'll get into all that and some more right after this. All right, so first off, Happy New Year's to everyone, man. I hope that you guys had a happy and safe celebration of the new year. If you guys did celebrate it, to anyone who's overseas as well, we know that you guys really got this after the new year as far as the present from DeMar DeRozan, but what a great way to start off the new year for everyone over there. We got some big news here. We just passed 3,000 subscribers here at Chicago Bulls Central. That is a show of the work of the community that goes to show this community and platform that we're building. And you know, I'm just happy for all of us here, man, because we've been working. And for the ones who've been here since 5 subscribers to 300 subscribers to 1,000 to all of this, man, you guys have really don't ever doubt the role that you've played in this platform growing to what it is. This is a platform for Chicago Bulls fans. It's not my platform, nothing like that. I don't glorify myself in this. This is about Bulls fandom. This is about Bulls fans, and we have built this community to a huge amount in a relatively short amount of time in the 5 months that Chicago Bulls Central has been a thing. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for sharing, liking, subscribing. Just thank you for helping grow it. I wanted to start off this year in this first video of the new year thanking you guys, because you guys are what makes this community special. But let's get into what makes this team special. So we had a very sloppy and frankly ugly game against the Indiana Pacers last night. A game in which, as much as DeMar DeRozan's game winner, and rightfully so, is going to be getting a lot of the buzz and attention in this win, let's not underestimate or understate the importance that Coby White played in this win. We're not in a position to win that game if Coby White doesn't have the game that he's having. We're just not. That's just facts. If Coby White didn't play the way that he played on both sides of the ball, we don't win this game. If anything, we may get blown out in that game. Zach LaVine did not play his best, as we all know by now. DeMar DeRozan, even with the game winner, DeMar DeRozan did not play. I wouldn't say he played a terrible game, but he didn't play a good game either. DeMar DeRozan, 24 shots for 28 points. That is not good shooting at all. And, I think we had a comment on the last one talking about shooting percentage matters and efficiency matters. And especially when you have players in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan that have been so efficient this year, when they don't have those efficient games, it does take another person to step up. And in this game, it was Coby White. Tyler Cook as well with some solid minutes off the bench. His 14 minutes, 5 points in that time. Derrick Jones Jr. as well. It was great to see him get a lob and everything going on there. We know Ayo didn't contribute a lot on points. He made some mistakes as well. But Ayo, and the thing that a lot of people aren't pointing out is that Ayo saved in clutch time Derrick Jones Jr. from getting a tech. He stopped Zach LaVine from getting a tech. Like, Ayo is starting to show a lot of leadership qualities, and I wanted to also point that out on this video as well, because it's usually the veteran or the level-headed player that tells players to calm down, not to get those tech. There was several times. I think he even stopped Javonte Green at one point. Ayo's leadership is showing. Ayo really knew that this game was close, and he knew that any type of fouls or technicals could really change the outlook of this game. And Ayo was keeping his players calm. You saw several times where he was going over the players, hugging them, telling them to calm down, talking to them. So the pressure of the moment did not get to Ayo in several ways. Yes, he didn't have the output scoring-wise, and didn't even have the best defensive game either. Now, he did make some plays, as a lot of people did on this team. But overall, I wanted to also talk about Ayo, because that's something that I don't think a lot of people are going to point out. Vooch, another big night on the board, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers, no blocks, no steals from Vooch. But again, he contributed in a lot of different ways. He shot 6 for 16, so not a very efficient night from him either. This first half was probably one of the sloppiest halves of basketball I've seen all season from both teams. There were several times in which the Chicago Bulls did have solid defensive possessions and periods, but they didn't end up with the loose balls, or they didn't end up with the rebound. And the Indiana Pacers got second chance points based off that. This was not a pretty game. It could be that the earliness of the game got to the players, because it could just be they played so many games in a short amount of time. I know that they were coming back from having a break due to COVID, but really, this team tonight's game will be the 5th game in 6 nights. that is a lot of games, right? And so maybe that got to it. Maybe they were trying to conserve the energy because they do have a big test tonight in the Washington Wizards. I've heard Dinwiddie's going to be out. I'm not sure who else is going to be out with health and safety on Washington's side. We'll talk about that when we preview the game. But with all that being said and everything being what it was, the fact that our Bulls pulled out a game that was flat out just ugly, they were able to get the win. They got enough contributions. And yes, it took a last minute Hail Mary from DeMar DeRozan, but guess what? The Bulls got it done. Bulls in the year, #1 in the East. For all the doubters, 6-game winning streak. We've won like 10 out of our last 12. I've said it. I said it before. The Bull, be prepared for a long Bulls winning streak, and they're showing that. Now it does get interesting in January. We have a very, very interesting stretch in January that's gonna really test this team and show where we stand amongst the other better teams in the league. But for tonight, it took a DeMar DeRozan Hail Mary, a one-legged three-point shot that I don't know if he wasn't aware of what happened on the clock or with the time that was on the clock. Lonzo Ball posted a funny video about that. But at the end of the day, the Bulls won. And that shot, confidence from DeMar DeRozan. Like I know a lot of Bulls fans. When that clock got to 3 seconds, I was like, DeMar, what the fuck are you doing? And as I said on the live stream last night, my brain, from seeing it was 2 seconds left to the shot falling in the net, my brain didn't process anything until afterwards. And me and my son who were watching the game just literally went off and screamed to the top of our lungs. But it is what it is there. Very good game. Well, no, very good win from our Chicago Bulls. Not a good game at all, but a good win. They pulled out the victory, and that's what you want to see good teams do, is they find a way to win. And the Bulls did that. But they're going to have to play a lot better tonight against the Washington Wizards. But we'll talk about all that and more later on. So I do want to get into, I said I was going to be doing this. Let's talk about Chris Flemming. We now have 4 games in Chris Flemming's tenure as head coach while Billy Donovan's been out with health and safety. Now, it has come out that Billy Donovan's been having Zoom calls, Zoom meetings with the coaching staff, with the players. So I said that before. I think I had guessed that Billy Donovan was still going to be a very active part in what goes on with this team, coaching from home or whatever else. But I want to talk about the way that Chris Flemming has coached. So not counting last night, going into the 3 games before last night, the Bulls have averaged 125 points while holding the opposing team to an average of 113 points. Now that really 2 big games for the Atlanta Hawks scoring wise, but for a 12-point differential overall. Now, last night game changes a lot of that, but I wanted to talk about that. Now, again, that's with the caveats that the Bulls have been playing teams that have had players out with in health and safety. We have some players out with health and safety with Lonzo and an injury with Alex Caruso. We also were missing Derrick Jones Jr. in a few of those games as well. But overall, Chris Flemming is doing a very solid job defensively. What I would say that, and again, not to compare him necessarily to Billy Donovan, but it seems like Chris Flemming makes adjustments a little bit quicker than what Billy Donovan usually does. And that's a good thing. Like, and you know, Chris Flemming, for those who don't know, he's the only member of the Bulls staff that was here when Boylan was the coach that remained. He's the only one that AK and Eversley maintained on this coaching staff. So Fleming's been here for 3 years. And Coby White spoke to that, of having Chris Fleming's been here since Coby White has been here. And so, you know, them two both being kind of the last remnants, other than Zach LaVine, of course, of the last regime, it just goes to show that this front office does trust and has Chris Flemming around for a reason. And the fact that he's gotten this chance to coach while Billy Donovan's out, he's been doing a solid job. Again, not perfect, but very much so. Billy Donovan's still involved. He's kept what Billy Donovan is gone very well, and I like the adjustments that he makes defensively. Again, this game notwithstanding, because it was a pretty ugly game. But let me know what you guys think about Chris Flemming overall so far in his tenure as coaching this team while Billy Donovan's being out. Now, we should get Billy Donovan back. He won't be back tonight. We know that also Lonzo and Caruso haven't traveled with the team, so they won't be back tonight either. But with that being said, this is probably going to be the last game of Chris Flemming's run as head coach while health and safety. And when Billy Donovan comes back, we'll probably get Caruso and Lonzo back as well, so we'll be really gearing up. But right now, 6-0 streak. Like I said, like 12 or 13 games out of like the last. The Bulls are on a big winning streak, and they're taking notice around the league. So let me know what you guys think about Chris Flemming. Let me know what you think about some of the players and how they've been playing under him as well. Let's go ahead and get into the next topic for today. So we are going to be getting into voicemails. Our first voicemail is from Shay, content contributor here. Let's go ahead and play that voicemail now.
What's up, Haize? This is Shay. And I was thinking, you know, we talk a lot about who should win Sixth Man of the Year on our team, who should win MVP, who should win Defensive Player of the Year, but no one talks about the Most Improved Player award. And who do you think on our team should get that?
All right, this is a great question from Shay. We talk about the team MVP and stuff like that, but most improved, who gets most improved on this team? And right now, right, you can't give it an aisle. This is his first season. Derrick Jones Jr. has been playing solidly, but I wouldn't give him most improved either. Really, the player that I would go to for most improved, and this may disappoint some people, is Coby White. Coby White's improvement on defense, and if if this is the version that we get of Coby White continued on through the season, I think it's clear that Coby White has to get the most improved player on this team. The defensive leaps that he's taken, right, for him, a player that was completely lost on defense, completely lost and off the ball, who's now becoming a competent defender, right? You see the blocks that he's getting, the loose balls that he pokes out and things, and just him staying alert and paying attention on defense and how that's been affecting the team. His passing has improved a little bit as well. And that's not just to go off the game where he had 12 assists or whatever, but just in general, there's a couple of scoop passes that he made to Tyler Cook and things in the last couple of games that really shows that he's, again, while not, I wouldn't start calling him a point guard or anything like that, but he's improving certain things and issues that we've had with Coby's game for since he's been here. And if the scoring comes around and becomes more consistent, again, not the 20-point nights and things like that, but if he becomes a more consistent scorer that we can bet on, I think Coby White has to be the most improved player. That's just my opinion on it. Depending on what happens with Tyler Cook, he's another candidate possibly as well. But just looking at, like, we're getting what we expected to get from Lonzo. Lonzo's been everything is advertised as well and great. And Alex Caruso as well. DeMar, he's the MVP, so I wouldn't give him a most improved. We know Zach. Well, Zach's improved as well, like being more efficient, and especially he's improved on defense as well. Can't give him most improved. Just looking through this roster, and like I said, with the other qualifiers that I've thrown out with the other players, I think it has to be, if this continues, Coby White. Now, if he goes back to how he was playing earlier on, then yeah, of course that changes things. But as of right now, and I may be a slave to the moment, but I think it's Coby White. Let me know down below what you guys think of who do you think on this team is the most improved player so far on this team this season. That's a good question. Great question from Shay. Let's go to JC, aka Dead Pizza, who was the mysterious number last time.
Hey, it's me, the mysterious 708 number. My name is JC, by the way. I wanted to call in asking, what is your thoughts on, damn, I forgot it. Oh, I remember now. What was your thoughts on the Chicago Bulls versus the Bucks game? I think that's going to be a very key matchup. What is your thoughts on that?
You know, this is a question that pops up, honestly, a lot in live streams as we talk about the Bulls being contenders. Of course, everyone wants to go to, what about the Bucks? How are the Bulls going to guard Giannis? This Bulls matchup against the Bucks, when it does happen, and it's coming very soon. I think we play, honestly, I think we play Friday, January 21st, right? And that comes after games against Memphis, Cleveland, and then Milwaukee. We got Orlando after that. Well, Boston to start before Memphis in that streak, and Golden State before. The Bulls have a nice list. Just go over this. In January 9th, we have Dallas, then we have Brooklyn, then we have Golden State, then we have Boston, then we have Memphis, then we have Cleveland, then we have Milwaukee. Those 7 games, right? And not everyone, of course, is every team in that stretch is key, but like that 7-game stretch is going to tell us a lot of what this team and how this team stacks up. And I'm excited to get to that stretch. Thoughts on potential matchup against the Bulls? Again, nobody can stop Giannis. So anyone who uses this conversation on, well, who stops Giannis? It's not about stopping Giannis. Great defensive teams, playoff teams, great, like I said, great defensive teams know that you can't stop a player like Giannis. You have to stop and disrupt everything else going around them. Now, Giannis is going to get his points either way. Now, if you can make it not be an efficient scoring night, then that's what you do. But you really try to stop everything else and force Giannis to really beat you. Now, I think the Bulls have the defensive personnel to do that. They do. We play the team defense. And also, don't forget, while yes, we do have to find a way to stop Giannis, they also have to stop Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and Vooch with the way the Vooch has been playing, Pacers game aside lately. So it's going to be a very interesting matchups for both teams. Both teams. This, and as much as people say that the Bulls and the Nets may be on a collision course for the Eastern Conference Finals, either we have to get through the Nets first, or through the Bucks first, or the Nets have to get through the Bucks first, depending on how seeding works. So it's absolutely relevant that we have to know how we match up against the Bucks. And that's going to be a measuring stick game that I can't wait for. And I think, especially with the Bulls, I would hope with the Bulls' improvement this season. You remember when we used to play the Bucks and it would basically be like almost a home game for the Bulls because it's so close to Chicago and we've had so many people showing up? I really hope that Bulls fans are showing up at that game and we make it very interesting and help our team in that game because, yes, that's going to be I'm very interested to see that game. I trust the Bulls. As I've said before, I think the Bulls have it. They can beat any team in the league. Not saying they should be favored or anything against every team, but I think we have the personnel when everyone's healthy to beat any team in this league. And especially with Tyler Cook coming on again, we'll see what goes on with Tony Bradley and stuff and if the Bulls make any moves. But with that being said, this team right now, with the energy, the focus, the ball movement, the defense, everything combined, we have enough to make it interesting. And I can't wait to see that game and how we match up with them. I can't wait till we play the Sixers again because when we did play the Sixers, Vooch wasn't playing like he's playing now. So, yes, I understand the critique and I understand why a lot of people are interested to see how we are going to do in that Bucks matchup. It's going to tell us a lot. Voice note number 3. We're going to go ahead and get into this one now.
How you doing? Hey, this Day Lives, man. You know I'm pumped up. Demar just hit that last second shot. Hey, I just wanted to call in. I couldn't let this slide. I just heard you try to tell one of the fans that don't feel like an idiot. Yes, feel like an idiot. You guys shouldn't have never doubted Coby. And I'm not mad at them, but Coby had the green light when he was our second best player. Coby is trying to get used to playing in the system. People who know basketball know that. That's why I kept saying they going too fast. I'm not surprised about none of this stuff that Coby's doing. He did this last year and the year before. Coby been playing like this. That's how I know that these people that's talking are the people that have came over once we got DeMar and Lonzo. Not saying that they phony fans and not saying that that's the only reason. I shouldn't even say that. But to keep it real with you, if you have been watching the Bulls the last 2 or 3 years, Coby White have had plenty of these type of games. Yes, he had crazy turnovers. Yes, he had crazy decision-making. He was a rookie and a sophomore. Plus, we had a garbage coach and a lot of players that wasn't playing up to their potential. How could he ever play up to his potential if he didn't have a team that was playing to their potential? Now that he's around all-stars and maybe even Hall of Famers one day, his game is going to get better than even before. He's going to play with efficiency. The only reason he's been playing good these days and he's been starting is because they're giving him more and more of the green light. It's going from like red to yellow to green. So I just wanted to call in and say that, but I'm going to call back, man, because I got a lot more to talk about. DeMar, that was a crazy shot. I was a little mad at him because they kept forcing it, and he went nuts. Great win. Happy New Year, bro. We number 1. Come on, stop playing. 8 Lives, man. I'm one of your best fans, bro. I love the show. Bulls fans, we lit.
All right. So while I've been trying to take the patient type thing, and I understand, like I said, I understand why, as much as I don't agree with it, like understanding and agreeing are two different things. You can understand somebody's point without agreeing with it. I didn't agree with the people who think that Coby wasn't going to fit on this team, Coby wasn't going to have a spot, that the Bulls have to trade him. I didn't never agree with that. But, this caller here is really, like, tired of y'all. Just to be honest, he's tired of y'all. But, yes, a lot of what you said is true, right? And Coby, I don't think even in the people who want or who called for Coby to be traded, I think they understand Coby's potential. But potential isn't always realized. Potential isn't always hit. And a lot of Bulls fans are tired of waiting on potential, especially when they could taste the contendership. We're so close to people just tasting the Bulls being legit contenders that they understandably don't want to wait on potential. They want to see this team realize now. But with that being said, I agree with everything you said. Coby has shown it. He was our second best player last year for the most part. And when Coby has the potential to be such a spark plug off the bench, and when you look at like a lot of teams, right, the teams that don't have the huge number of superstars or anything like that, they usually have a big spark plug off the bench that really sometimes dictates certain series when they get hot and stuff like that. Coby can absolutely be that for us, and I'm glad that he's starting to show that potential and starting to wake some fans up. Now, a lot of people are also saying that now that Coby's playing better, it ups his trade value. Again, at this point in the time, you're going to have people that are either going to fall very hardly on the side of Coby White. No matter what Coby does, great. They're just going to say he still needs to be traded and it's helping his trade value. And you have the other people who, no matter what he does, great or bad, they're going to say no because of what he can be. Let's keep him on the team. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. I fall on the side that I want to see Coby stay on this team. And I really do think the spark plug that he can be off the bench for us is going to be needed, especially when our bench scoring over the course of the season has not been the best. So definitely, I agree with you there. Last topic for today, preview of the Washington Wizards game. So this game, as of right now, I'm looking at who's out. Spencer Dinwiddie's out. Bertans is out. Wanamaker's out. Montrezl Harrell's probably going to be out as well. So yeah, they of course every team has their issues right now with health and safety. Again, the Wizards record 18 and 17. I do worry about what Gafford could do against us, right? But again, as a lot of people do point out, Vooch had his career high against Gafford when they were on the when Vooch was on Orlando and Gafford was still here. So I completely understand everything there. This game is good, especially the Bulls can't come out flat. At the end of the day, the Bulls cannot come out and they can't play sloppy like they did last night. They can't do that. They have to come in and they have to execute the ball on offense. They have to shoot the ball effectively on defense. They have to keep Bradley Beal from going off and contain him the best that they can. They're gonna have to play solid defense. Don't know who's if it's gonna be Zach. Again, this is one of Zach's first matchups against another big time shooting guard. And if they have to change and put Io on him or Javonte Green on him, I want to see Zach LaVine own and take that defensive call and guard Bradley Beal and play him tight. I want to see how much of an improved one-on-one defender Zach LaVine is. Now, again, team defense is the key to games and the key to wins here, but I do want to see that from Zach LaVine. If it comes down to a duel between DeMar DeRozan and Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal, even the better. But I do think this is going to be a game that we're going to get excited in. It's going to be a game that is going to be a trade of leads. We're going to have to try to disrupt what they do, but they're going to try to disrupt what we do as well. The Washington Wizards can play better than their record. We know it. We've seen it. Like I said, the 18 and 17 record can be a little misleading. The Bulls playing flat, now on a flat last night, and now on a back-to-back. I really want to see if they come out flat. Like I said, this game can get very ugly very quick for the Chicago Bulls, and their reign at the top of the East could be very short. I want to see the Bulls really, really play well, execute well on both sides of the ball, and play together. Keep that air of togetherness, next man up mentality. I think this is going to be a big game, and in which we see a big game from Ayo Dosunmu, because I think we're going to need kind of that spark. Either him or Derrick Jones Jr. We'll see what Tyler Cook can do as well. It's going to be a very interesting game. We're going to need some bench scoring, as you do in every game. But let me know down below, what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to be, or what do you think some of the keys are going to be against the Washington Wizards tonight? Do you think that Zach LaVine is going to take that defensive assignment and really try to guard Bradley Beal one-on-one this game? Do you think that he has the capability to do it with his improved defense? Let me know everything that you think and that you expect of this Washington Wizards game down below. Like you guys know, I will have a halftime hangout, and we will have a live stream after the game. I'll get those posted so you guys can go ahead and get notifications of that when we go live. But that's it for me today. A little bit of a longer episode. I had a lot to go over, a lot of voicemails and everything like that. Really excited. I wanted to start this new year off with a bang. 3,000 subscribers. I'll be announcing soon what we're going to do. Said we're going to be doing a giveaway once we hit 3,000 subscribers. So I'll be announcing that, exactly how that's going to work, coming up here soon. But that's it for me. You can make sure you're following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. If you want to leave a text or voicemail so they get read and played like you heard the other ones today, that number is 773-270-2799. I want to hear from everyone after this break or whatever. I want to hear from everyone just off how this week was, and we'll be recapping the week tomorrow as well. That's it for me. Like I like to end every video on, go Bulls. I love you guys. Peace. 3K, baby!
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.